everyone, and welcome back to our course. In this lecture, we are discussing why you must learn how to work with data. Let's get started. We constantly are generating data through online activity. Every click or view or action you take on a website is tracked, more and less depending on the site that you're visiting. Sites can even track your activity across sites. For example, if a company owns a lot of different websites or applications, then they can track you across all of their different products. As well, companies can track your activity even if after you've left their site. So data is constantly being generated and stored. And even before the internet, data was being generated because people purchased products at stores and they purchased products through mail-ins, and they just generally lived in the world. So even before the internet, data was being generated. And companies analyze this data to find ways to generate profit. And you can do this as well, as a data analyst or just as a developer. Even before the internet, companies were using data analysis to determine how they should proceed in their company to get business insights. And data is not just used by companies for profit, it's also used at organizations and institutions for tasks like research, generating reports, generating new insights. For example, a company could find that a product has not been selling as well, and therefore they should no longer sell that product. They should sell or focus on a different product. That is a very simple example of using data to make a business decision. But data can give you a lot more complex and nuanced insights and business procedures. Sometimes data can even give you hidden insights that you didn't even notice, or hidden patterns. And this is especially relevant with the internet age because a lot of data is being generated. And it's impossible for a person to go through all that data manually. So we have to instead learn how to use computers to be able to analyze data. All of this data generation and companies using it to determine their business steps, their business procedures, this creates a better user experience on the web because posts and videos, advertisements and products are all tailored to you. Now, of course, there's pros and cons to all this data generation, but for a business in terms of profit, being able to understand data and analyze it is a huge pro and a huge advantage to a business, regardless of the industry. There are many different aspects to working with data. For example, you need to know how to store data, how to get insights from the data, ensure that it isn't corrupted, handle old data and new data, ensure that your data is updated and relevant, and remove or backlog data if it's no longer relevant, query data to get information, and work with data quickly, and much, much more. And this is relevant not just for a data analyst, a data scientist, but also for a developer, because as a web developer, for example, or any kind of developer, you have to store information about your users. For example, user accounts. Or if you're building a store website, you have to store the data about all the different products. So all websites have to handle data, unless you're building just a very static front one-page site, for example. At a company, whether small or large, you're going to have websites that have the front end, or what the user sees, and then also the back end, which is the server and the data. This data will store information about the site and the users of the site and more. So as a developer, you have to understand how to work with data because it plays a large part in development. Data is key to figuring out trends and future direction for businesses across industries. So not just businesses with a website or an online business, even an offline business needs to be able to use data to get that competitive edge. Data will tell you if your business strategies are working and can give you new ideas for your business. If you're not concerned about business, if you just want to build a site, you still need to understand data because you have to still be able to store users, store accounts, and store other pieces of data relevant to your specific site. So that is why you need to learn how to work with data. Coming up, we're going to talk about how to logically think about data. Because if you can understand data from a logical point of view, then you'll be ready to start working with databases. So join me in our next section.